Starting a business is never easy. It takes time, dedication, a lot of risk. And by risk, I mean a lot of uncertainties and a lot of headaches, and emotional control is at most critical. Today's email comes from somebody who's been watching all the gurus, and he's asking, it's not that easy. So what am I doing wrong? Where do I go from here, and how do I know it's time to give up? Let's talk about this. Roll it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos Rentas. This is mentorsapproach.com. If this is your first time here, hit that like button at the end of the video if you like what you see, and of course hit the subscribe button to get your daily motivational idea to get you moving in the right direction. Starting a business. Oh, it's so much fun. Up until that point, you get discouraged, and that motivation you had kind of flies out the window. And the idea is very simple. It's how do you stay motivated through the ups and downs? How do you keep moving forward? And when we watch the gurus, we watch all the big guys, we watch all the, the guys who went from, start from nothing to something big, and they made it. And when we watch all that, we think, hey, we can do this. And reality is that very few do stick it out, very few keep moving forward, and very few achieve everything they were dreaming of achieving. Let's jump into this email. Hi, Nikos. I watch all these people talk about how easy it is to make money, but I am becoming really discouraged. My business isn't taking off. I have spent money on developing my idea. No one is visiting my website, and no one is actually helping me grow, even when I pay them to do advertising. I just don't get how Gary Vee and all these top gurus talk like this is easy and just work and it will come. Where do I go from here? How much more can I spend before giving up? And and this is exactly the simple idea of where's your mindset at, and where's your pocket at? How much money is there left? How much fuel do you have to go? That's the big question. The actual solution to your problem isn't that hard. You've already identified it. People aren't coming to their website. People aren't buying because they're not coming to your website. There's something fundamentally wrong with your sales sequence, with your sale approach, and you're not closing. Bottom line. The process you've taken is the struggle. Now, I've corresponded with this person through several emails to get more details, because in certain emails that I get, they need more detail in order to respond, and sometimes I respond more of a general on the video and then send them a more detailed email, and sometimes I want more of the details because I know this will help people, and the idea is very simple in this case. You start planning on something, you start moving in a direction. You become discouraged when you see time tick away and you don't see consecutive successes. It is easy to start a business and stay positive for a while, but negativity, it's right there, and it's easy to jump over the negative side. It's a lot harder to get back into the positive. And when you get back in there, it's really hard to stay there because you get dragged back over the negative. And it's a mindset game. Self-motivation is incredibly hard, especially when this is on the line. And yeah, all the gurus can say, grind it out year after year, keep doing what you gotta do, you keep moving, keep fighting, jab, 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 uppercut. Great, but when your family's starving and you need this to keep going, to keep your doors open and keep moving forward, it's incredibly difficult to stay in that positive momentum. Let's be realistic here. It's really difficult. So yes, you get discouraged, but congrats on moving through the process of getting to where you are. Congrats on planning all of this out and getting to where you need to be. And congrats on figuring out, hey, I need help with advertising because I'm not good at it. Let me go get these firms. Now, when people come to me regarding advertising, regarding that marketing, I always ask, how much money have you spent? And there's two things that occur. They either tell me I've spent a lot and they have not, and they think they've spent a lot, or they spent a lot and they spent it all in the wrong places. And it's a fundamental issue because they haven't seen results. And in the case of this person, they went out and they jumped through different firms or outfits, I should say, that said, hey, for $100 a month, I will get you so many subscribers, so many visits, so many people visiting and buying, and then so many people visiting and continuing to buy. Great. And you jump from one to the next, you pay them $100 a month, it didn't work out. And the reality of that is that you don't have a sales sequence in what you're doing. So even though they're advertising, it's not doing anything for you. And even if they were advertising properly and you did have people coming, at least you could build a community, you could do something with it. You're not. So clearly whatever marketing you've structured and the advertising that's being done through Facebook ads, Google ads, or whatever you're doing, it's not working out because there's no sequence. There's nothing happening in your funnel, you would say, or any kind of that sales process you have. And because that's not happening, that's where we need to revisit and say, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What do we need to implement? How much time do we have? How much this do we have? And what are we willing to keep doing? Because when you say, where do I go from here? And how much more can I spend, okay, before giving up? This is subjective and it comes down to those things. You have to ask yourself, how much time do I have? How much more time do I want to waste? And what does that time of being wasted turn into dollar-wise? Because right now, that's what you're looking at. You're not looking at it as time invested, you're looking at it as time wasted. And that's the reality of it. We've got to be critical on ourselves and really be accountable for how we are approaching something, how are we working towards the resolution of what we're trying to find to our problem and what direction we're clearly going with our mindset. And right now it's a failing mentality. If your budget can afford it, I would suggest going to a team. If your budget can afford it, what I would suggest is going to a firm that specializes in the whole sequence of sales. So from the marketing, setting up yourself for success on the marketing side, on the funnel side, on setting up a community, and then sending people towards this whole system through the advertising. And yeah, I mean, I get on the phone with a lot of these people to see what they're selling, how they're doing it, their process, and they average from $100 a month, right, which doesn't get you much, all the way up to like 20 and 30 and 40,000. I was just on the phone with these guys from New York, guaranteeing me return on investment, but I gotta drop 20 grand. Is it worth for me to do that right now at this point? Well, I'm not done all the content I want to be doing. I'm not done everything I need to be doing. Gotta ask myself, how much time do I have working on this? Gotta ask myself, where do I want to spend this? And how long do I allow myself to continue on the average budget I set? Or when do I need to increase it? Or, hey, I don't want to spend any more on this and I want to change my format and go to something else. This is the subjective part. How much money can you afford to move forward based on your responsibilities, based on your life? What is happening in your life? Where's this money coming from for you to invest in? I've talked to a few people over the last 3 months who have spent their life savings trying to get their idea rolling, and now they didn't budget for the advertising, they didn't budget for all that, and then they're wondering, hey, what can I do with this? Where can I move from this? What's the reality? And they can't move forward on anything, and they don't want to go get investors that will actually help them from a financial standpoint to advertise and grow. We can't have it all. We can't have everything. And this is where we have to look at the reality of what is, not the narrative that we sit in. And that narrative will be telling you other things, but at the same time, you are losing money. Yes, and yes, people will tell you you'll make money fast, and those are certain people that will be like, hey, make money fast by doing this, this, and this, and you jump on the boat and you think you're gonna do it. Reality hits. And then there's the gurus that say work for 10 years and you'll see success and keep going at it. And yes, they live in the reality of what is life, but at the same time, they're motivating the individuals that are willing to go out and do that for 10 years, who will say, I will keep going at it. I will work 2 jobs and then do my business on the side until I grow it so I can only have 1 job and do the business on the side until eventually I don't have that job and I'm making money. And I'll keep learning, I'll keep moving forward, I'll figure this out. Okay, but there's a timeline for everything. And this is where you need to sit down and say to yourself, what's reality? What do I need? And you're saying what you need. So let's put a budget together, put a timeline. What do I want to see? Actually spend money on people that will be able to help you with your problem. Interview 20 different companies. Go out, call 20 companies. You should be able to do that. You should spend 2 weeks looking up 20 of the best with different price points. And you should say to yourself, who can I work with at the budget I'm willing to spend? Not $100, a little bit higher. Go with somebody who can set your sales process up and help you with that. What you'll find is that you're risking X amount of money for a good reason, and at the end of the day you will make the choice based on, hey, I found all this, I'm going to put a point system on it, I'm making the right choice by the end of it. Now that I made my choice, off hands, I'm going to focus on this side of my business, let them do what they need to do, monitor it, and your goal is to be successful by picking the best you could find based on that budget. And money should be based on your budget. That's it. Don't think of that money as something you're risking. You're thinking of it as a budget, so you can put it down and leave it aside. So it's not anymore a risk, but it's more of an investment. And you can say to yourself, in 3 months, in 6 months, what results will I have? I'm gonna stick with these guys. I'm gonna keep moving with them, because at the end of the day, whoever's come to me for anything to do with advertising online, I tell them straight up, it's gonna take 6 months to really see a pattern and results. It's not gonna be a week or 2 weeks. And a lot of people will come and they're saying, hey, I want this within a month, and it's like, it's not doable. We need to see the patterns. We need to see what's happening. We need to do test runs on different ads. You can't do this overnight. You need to spend money. Take some time and really look at this whole idea and ask yourself, where was my plan? What do I need now? How much time do I have? And what's my budget? Put all this together. Go do the research to pick the right people to work with you, and you will see results. You will see success from it. And at the end of the day, whatever you see will either be your turning point to keep moving and be proud of yourself, to keep going, or to say, hey, I'm gonna hang up the skates on this one and go find another idea to work on, because clearly it's not working, and be proud of yourself that you tried all this, you took the learning moment, and you're gonna be applying it to something new. My name is Nikos Rentas. This is mentorsapproach.com. Hit that like button, of course, hit the subscribe, and leave your comment below, your story, your experience in a similar situation. What did you do? How did it turn out? And of course, what would you like to have seen happen? And who knows, somebody might be reading that story and you might help change a life.